99.94% of the wastewater that enters a sewage treatment plant is made up of water. The remaining 0.06% is made of the substances that are being filtered out.
Otherwise known as biological oxygen demand, is the amount of dissolved oxygen needed by aerobic biological organism in a body of water to break down organic material present in a given water sample at certain temperatures over a certain period of time.
Modern sewage system using new technology to remove contaminants from wastewater consisting of mostly household objects.
Sediment is solid material that is moved and deposited in a new location through erosion, and it can consist of rocks, minerals, and the waste of plants and animals.
Point source pollution is a single identifiable source of pollution that can occur in waterways, such as drain pipes discharging industrial waste into the water, whereas non-point sources of pollution are often termed diffuse pollution and refer to those inputs and impacts which can occur over a wide area and are not easily attributed to a single source.
The Bureau of Natural Resources share information about depleting natural resources and ways to conserve them.
Activated sludge is created in a process for treating sewage and wastewater with air and bacteria. The activated sludge is the mass of microorganisms that is cultivated to break down organic matter into carbon dioxide, water, and other inorganic compounds. The goal of anaerobic digestion of sludge is to reduce the amount of sludge that needs to be disposed of. In this process, organic matter is broken down into carbon dioxide and methane without the use of oxygen. Half of this is converted into gas, while the other half is dried and stored.
These are popular chemical formulas. CO2 is chlorine gas, NaClO is sodium chloride, NH2 is ammogen, O3 is ozone, NO3+ is nitrate, NO2 is nitrogen dioxide, and NH4+ is ammonium.
Raw sewage is wastewater that has not been treated yet. Preliminary wastewater treatment is achieved by removing any constituents from the wastewater that can clog or damage pumps and interfere with subsequent treatment process.
Fecal coliform bacteria test is a primary indicator of potability. Sustainability for consumption of drinking water, it measures the concentration of total coliform bacteria associated with the possible presence of disease-causing organisms.
Magnification is the increase in a contaminant concentration at each level of the food chain.
Primary treatment is holding sewage in a basin where heavy solids settle at the bottom and lighter solids float to the surface. Secondary treatment removes solid and dissolved suspended biological matter from water. Tertiary treatment is anything that is more than primary and secondary treatment in order to allow rejection into a highly sensitive or fragile ecosystem.
Hypoxia is the deficiency in the amount of oxygen reaching the tissues. No life can exist.
Bioaccumulation is an increase in concentration of a pollutant from the environment in an organism or a part of an organism.
Primary sewage treatment is a physical process that uses screens and a grit tank to remove large floating objects and allows solids such as sand and rock to settle out.
Biological treatment is the process in which wastewater is treated with anaerobic bacteria to remove or reduce organic contaminants, such as animal and human waste, ammonia, nitrates, and plant tissue.
Turbidity is the measure of a water clarity and how much the material suspended in water decreases the passage of light through the water.
The Clean Water Act of 1972 established certain regulations on the discharge of pollutants into U.S. waterways. It also standardized the quality of water in U.S. surface water.
Secondary wastewater treatment removes dissolved organic matter that escapes primary treatment, usually by microbes consuming it as food, and converting it to carbon dioxide and water.
The benthic zone is the lowest level of the ocean, also known as the seafloor. Some of the characteristics of this are low nutrients, colder temperature, and it's dark with no sunlight, so there is no photosynthesis or plant life. The organisms that live in the benthic zone are called benthos, and these are some examples of these are crustaceans and other detritivores.
Eutrophication is when there are excessive nutrients in a lake or body of water, and this is often because of land runoff or which causes a growth of plant life and death of animal life in that region.
Runoff is the flow of water that occurs when excess stormwater flows over the Earth's surface.
Okay, go.
Primary wastewater treatment includes removing floating solids from raw sewage and screening to trap solids and sedimentation by using gravity.
SAV is submerged aquatic vegetation and filters polluted runoff and improves water quality.
Cultural eutrophication forms of water pollution that occurs when excessive fertilizers run into lakes and rivers. They cause algae blooms.